Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Sachin Education Hub. Friends, today we are here to discuss about the difficulties of the accounting standard. So firstly, we will discuss on what is accounting standard, and in a basic line you can say that accounting standards are just the guidance that tells the company how should Indian companies prepare their financial report. If we talk about the Indian AS, then these are the guidelines that tells the companies how should they prepare their financial report. It means there are the specific guidelines that are provided in the accountancy for preparing the financial reports, right? And these guidelines are called as accounting standards or the Indian AS. But there are some hurdles, but there are some problems or the limitations are under these guidelines. Today we will focus on these problems or the limitations. So let us start with very first problem that is facing that is the major problem in the accounting standard is the complexities. It is complexities. As you see in the PDF, Indian accounting standard, that is Indian AS, can be complex and challenging to interpret, especially for the small and medium sized enterprises. So you can say that Indian AS can be quite challenging to interpret, especially for the smaller businesses or as well as the medium sized businesses, or you can say that these standard often requires a deep understanding about the accounting principles and the complex transactions, which is very difficult for the company to be understand, especially for the small base companies. So you can say that if you have only the deep understanding of the complex transactions or the accounting principles, then only the company which have these qualifications or these type of deep understandings, only that company can use the accounting standard perfectly. Otherwise, the other companies, especially small based or the medium sized companies, have faced difficulties. Hence, it is a very complex for that companies to be implemented accounting standard in their businesses. Okay, so this is a very first common major problem or the limitation under the accounting standards. Second thing is compliance cost. Second thing is compliance cost. Implementing and complying with Indian AS can be expensive, and particularly for the small businesses with limited resources. If we talk about the implementation of the Indian AS, then particularly the business which have less resources facing this problem. You can say that implementing and complying with Indian AS can be expensive, and businessmen may need to invest a significant resources in their training in the training of the employees, updating the accounting systems, and also hiring some external consultant to ensure that there should be a compliance in the companies. For this purpose, you can say that you need to invest larger and larger amount. But for the small businesses, it is particularly a difficult one. So hence, you can say that compliance cost is also the major hurdle in implementation of accounting standard as well in India. Okay, so this is the second major problem. Third thing is adoption challenges. Third thing is challenges. You can say that transitioning from the previous accounting framework, or you can say that when we talk about the previous accounting frameworks, or especially the old framework, when converted into Indian accounting standards, it makes a significant challenge. Whatever the old accounting standards, or whatever the traditional accounting standards, when we change in these accounting standard, it is difficult to be adopt for many companies to adapt these on a time. You can say that company need to allocate the time as well as resources to understand the new standards, and also to update their accounting policies as well as procedures. For this purpose, you can say that the transition from the old standards to the new standard make the business disruptive and also require a careful planning and execution in this case. So this is also the hurdle in the implementation or proper implementation of accounting standard in the Indian companies. Okay. Now the fourth one is called lack of uniformity. Fourth one is lack of uniformity. despite efforts to standardize the accounting practices, there may be the inconsistencies in the applications of the Indian AS. You can say that whatever the standardized accounting practices, despite effort of these things, there may be a consistency. There may be a consistency in the application of the Indian AS across the different companies. Why? You can say that this is the because of lack of uniformity. Lack of uniformity can make it difficult to compare the financial statements, because if the different company have a different accounting standard, then it makes it very difficult to compare same type of financial report of a different companies. But there is a problem because of the uniformity, because the some company use a different accounting standard and some companies have different accounting standards, so the comparison must be difficult in this case. Okay, so this is also the major problem. If you have a not if you have a lacking of uniformity in your accounting standards, then it create a problem in this case. The next point is called interpretation issues. Interpretation issues we already discussed above. Certain Indian accounting principles may be subject to interpretation and leading to the variations in the reporting practices among the company. For an example, you can say that the treatment of certain assets or liabilities may vary depending on the judgment of the managers. You can say that the treatment of certain assets and liabilities may be vary depending on the various judgments of the management, and due to this judgment there is a resultant discrepancies in the management as well. Okay, so this is also the reason when we interpret the accounting standard in a different viewpoints, because of the different judgments of the auditor as well as management, then it create a problem also in the implementation of accounting standards in Indian companies. Okay, after that there is another point, that is a regulatory changes. Indian accounting standard is not static. Indian accounting standard is not static. You can say that changes in the regulatory requirement and update to Indian accounting standard is required, very important in India. Otherwise otherwise if we don't adapt according to time, or if we don't adapt the regulatory changes on the time, then businessmen facing lot of problems. So as a result, you can say that businessmen need to adapt these type of regulatory changes on the timely basis, and also to carefully understand the changes that are seen under the various accounting rules and regulations. No doubt it is a time consuming process, no doubt it requires a larger resources, but you have to be adapt these regulatory changes for the proper implementation of the Indian accounting standard. So instead of so you can say that if you not follow, or if you're not adapting the regulatory changes on the timely basis, that is a problem for the companies to implement the Indian accounting standard on uh, or you can say that in an effective manner. Okay, second last point is called impact on financial statement. The adoption of the Indian accounting standard may be lead to significant changes in the financial statement as well, right? The adoption of Indian accounting standard is also the major problem, or the require the significant changes in the financial statement. For an example, you can say valuation of assets or the recognition of the revenue may be differ under different accounting standards. Different accounting standards have their own asset valuations method, have their own recognition revenue methods, which create problems to be interpreted as well. Hence, it also impact on the financial statement. So different accounting standard have a different viewpoints and different methods in a different cases. Then it create a problem or the impact on the financial statement, which lack the transparency, which lack the integrity in the financial information. So you can say that this is also the another problem of the accounting standards. And the last point is called global alignment. Last point is called global alignment, which means global convergence of accounting standard, a single accounting standard for the all global companies. Okay, which is not possible. You can say that while Indian AS need to convert the international financial reporting standards, it may be difficult, or there may be a still differences here due to the global comparability, due to the global conditions as well. You can say that there may be a still differences between two type of frameworks, because whether you want a uniformity in the global world, but there can be a global comparability for the Indian businesses and create a challenges for the multinational companies also after adaptation as well. Okay, so global alignment or to make the Indian accounting standard uniform for the all global companies, very difficult. Or to make the alignment of Indian accounting standard also with IFRS, also not possible in a in any way, you can say that, because many companies have their own structures, many companies have their own legal structures. So this is a very difficult thing. So another main, you can say that, problem in this case is global alignment. So this is all about for the Indian accounting standard problems, and understanding these limitations is a very crucial for the companies to ensure that there should be a compliance, maintaining the creditability, or also to take the informed decision making. So this is all for today. Thanks for watching, friends. And if you found this video very helpful, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So until the next time, take care. Bye bye.